By the time we had caught up with our pride of lions, they were in the Mopani. The pride had covered some significant distance during the night. They had made it to the tracks of where the buffalo had their early morning sleep. They began to move. On their path towards the buffalo, the pride found an odd little creature to play with. Pushed out, no doubt, by the wet and cool weather, this big pangolin hadn't anticipated being a plaything for a bunch of lion cubs. I have only seen 7 pangolins in my entire life in Botswana. They cannot access this hard and rigid scaly body, and the pangolin remains tightly rolled up in a ball. They definitely weren't trying to eat it, just curious. The cubs got bored fairly quickly, and the pride moved on. We sat with the pangolin for at least half an hour before he started to unravel himself. His little head became exposed, tiny black beady eye, and he decided to roll himself up into a bundle again. He was completely unharmed, and I guess will continue on his journey, uninterrupted this time. Bulls and cows around the periphery of the herd were listening and smelling. It took us a while to find our pride. They emerged from the forest slightly north of them, slowly coming out in drips and drabs, huge spaces between the individuals. There was little solidarity, and even the cubs began to lag and drag behind. The closer they got to the herd, the closer together the pride became. Far across the big open turpentine grassland, they could see the herd disappearing into the crotons on the far side. This pride is not forcing any interaction. They are sneaking behind, being very quiet. The nature of their hunting is normally more aggressive. And just waiting for an opportunity. that one bull walks astray rather than forcing a chance to kill something. The pride definitely seemed to lack a sense of urgency. And again, there was a lack of leadership in their pursuing of these buffalo. The herd of buffalo were now in the heart of the Kakanika Pride territory. The herd had done incredibly well over the past several days, keeping everybody close together. There were no mistakes, and there had been no casualties. A little ways off to the east, the waterbuck were in a slightly different mood. They were moving and watching and parading as our dominant male passed them. He had been off to the south, mating with a female from the neighboring pride, and he had been away for over 2 weeks. He was not here after the buffalo, but looking for his pride. The buffaloes had headed northwest towards Doug's Island. The pride caught up with them close to Jason's crossing. Again, these lions were hunting in a very non-aggressive manner. Stalking carefully, watching carefully. The pride decided to cross the channel. The lionesses didn't seem to mind, but the cubs snarled and hissed. Their inexperience with water and their dislike for it was clearly evident. The lions decided that chaos may create an opportunity, and they headed in and created panic amongst the herd. Buffaloes were running everywhere, and by the time it stabilized and we made sense of the chaos, the two youngest cubs were leading everything. They were out in the front, in the usual bold manner that they are accustomed to. It was not long before they realized that they were alone. The bulls gathered and turned, and the cub, now realizing his position, had to turn and bolt back towards the pride.